Welcome to Despicable Maine Deep Dive. Today on the show, the United States has been officially hijacked by the country of Satan.
That's right. Today we're diving into a really attention-grabbing claim.
Definitely grabs your attention.
It's this assertion that a foreign entity, which the source calls the country of Satan, has basically taken control of the United States, possessing it as a superpower.
Right. And we're also going to touch on how this might, just might, connect with some predictions from Nostradamus.
Exactly. One of the sources suggests some, let's say, striking parallels there. It's definitely a provocative claim we're unpacking today.
No kidding. So, okay, this country of Satan thing. How does this text, the United States has been hijacked, actually build its case? It starts pretty simply, right? Defining satanic.
It does. It defines satanic as just evil, the complete opposite of good. And it gives examples. Lying, cheating, stealing.
Yeah.
But also exploiting people, killing innocent people, taking their land, the big stuff.
Yeah, pretty stark black and white view of things.
It absolutely sets the stage that way, this very clear moral dichotomy. Everything that follows is framed by that.
Okay, so then it starts asking questions, like a quiz to identify this country of Satan.
Kind of, yeah. The first one is, which country has a flag representing 6666?
Does it answer that one?
No, interestingly, it just poses the question. Leaves it hanging there.
Huh, okay, what else?
Then it gets more direct. Which country bribes, blackmails, and extorts government officials?
And that one it answers?
That one it answers. The country of Satan. That's presented as their main tool.
So the argument is control comes through corruption and coercion.
That's the core of it. It portrays these illegal tactics as the primary means of influence, or rather dominance, over the U.S. government.
Right. And there are more questions like that.
A few more, yeah. Which country hates the Bible? Again, the text answers, the country of Satan.
Okay.
And which country wants to imprison people for reading the Bible? Same answer.
Wow.
And then the sort of final question ties it all together. Which country has already taken over the United States using all these methods? The bribery, the blackmail, targeting politicians, people in power.
Let me guess. The country of Satan.
You got it. So the text concludes, yes, the U.S. has been taken over. It's controlled by this external country of Satan.
So America isn't really running its own show anymore, according to this view. It's like a puppet state.
That's precisely the picture it paints. Not just influenced, but completely dominated. A hostile takeover, but done covertly.
Now, something else in this text that really jumped out was about AI data centers.
Yes, that's a major prediction in the text. It claims Trump is building these massive AI data centers.
Right, but why?
At the behest, it says, of the children of Satan from this country of Satan.
Okay, children of Satan now. So individuals within this country.
Seems so. And the reason given is that these children of Satan hate the truth. They want to censor any free speech that challenges their narrative of evil.
The AI centers are the tool for that censorship.
Exactly. They'll control the information flow through these AI systems.
That ties into some broader fears about AI, doesn't it?
It does. And the text brings in some biblical references here, too.
Like what?
It mentions the mark of the beast from the book of Revelation, the symbol you supposedly need to buy or sell, representing allegiance to evil.
So linking the AI control to that.
It seems to imply a connection, yeah. And it also references Revelation 2.9, the part about the synagogue of Satan, linking that phrase directly to these children of Satan.
The language gets pretty strong there.
Extremely strong. The text heavily condemns anyone identifying as children of Satan, associating it with supremacist, sadistic ideologies, even calling it a terrorist state involved in genocide.
It names names or places.
It specifically references the situation in Gaza and Benjamin Netanyahu in that context.
Okay, so it's drawing very specific contemporary parallels.
Very. And it doesn't stop there. It criticizes the Trump administration's economic policies, too.
How does that fit in?
It claims those policies are part of the country of Satan's agenda to deliberately collapse the United States from within.
Collapse it. To what end?
To usher in this AI control, apparently. It mentions universal basic income.
UBI.
Yeah, linking it to figures like Klaus Schwab and Elon Musk and the idea of eliminating jobs through automation and AI. It's all part of the plan, according to the text.
Wow, that's a lot. A whole conspiracy laid out.
It's a very detailed, albeit alarming, narrative. It connects political figures, economic policies, technology, and prophecy into one overarching plot.
And you mentioned Benjamin Netanyahu earlier. There's a specific claim about him.
Yes, this is maybe one of the most striking claims. The text asserts that a speech Netanyahu gave in Hebrew contained a hidden message.
A hidden message.
Essentially, yeah. The text interprets this speech as Netanyahu announcing that the country of Satan is now officially in possession of a superpower.
And that superpower is?
The United States. That the control is complete, and it was acknowledged, maybe codedly, in that speech.
So like a public declaration hidden in plain sight, or at least hidden in Hebrew.
That's the interpretation presented. It's certainly an unconventional reading of a political speech.
Definitely unconventional. It also mentions Hollywood and the media.
It does. Claims they're run by these same children of Satan who control the narrative, push the agenda.
Standard stuff for conspiracy theories, controlling the media.
Often a key element, yes. Interestingly, it throws in a comment about Australia being beautiful despite government and public apathy there. Sort of a random aside.
Okay. And what about the legitimacy of this country of Satan?
The text is very clear on that. It calls it an illegitimate state, declared as such by the World Court, violating international law, human rights.
Specific violations.
It mentions illegal settlements that must be dismantled. It even claims the state was founded on terrorism and refers to the Holocaust as a fraud.
Whoa, okay, so it goes into Holocaust denial territory.
It explicitly uses that term, yes. Which is, of course, a hallmark of anti-Semitic and extremist rhetoric. We're just reporting what the text contains here.
Understood. So the text's final verdict on America.
Bleak. America has fallen. It's controlled by the country of Satan. And if they succeed fully, well, the text says nothing will survive.
Grim. So that's the core of the first source's argument. Now, how does Nostradamus fit into this picture?
Well, the second source we looked at poses the question. Did Nostradamus actually predict the kind of chaos and turmoil we're supposedly seeing or heading towards in 2025?
Climate issues, political tensions, tech leaps, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And the idea is to see if any of his predictions resonate with the claims made in that hijacked text.
Okay, so let's look for potential overlaps. What about political upheaval? Nostradamus talked about that, right?
He did. Predictions of a great empire being replaced, betrayal among allies, shifting power dynamics.
So could you map the hijacked U.S. onto that? The empire being replaced, maybe not conquered, but controlled from within by this country of Satan?
That's one possible interpretation people might draw. The source mentions things like changing alliances in the Philippines as a modern example of shifting power.
So the U.S. is now basically a puppet on strings, controlled by this country of Satan, kind of like your cat when it knows exactly how to get you to open a can of tuna, but on a global superpower scale.
That's one way to put the analogy, yes. The idea is a fundamental shift in who holds the real power.
What about the rise of the East? Nostradamus mentioned the West weakening.
Yes, often symbolized by a dragon, sometimes interpreted as China, gaining strength. This could lead to a new world order, potentially conflict.
So could this country of Satan, maybe not being geographically Eastern itself, somehow be the mechanism by which the West, i.e. the U.S., is weakened, allowing the East to rise?
That's a possible interpretive link someone could make, connecting the alleged internal takeover to the broader geopolitical shifts Nostradamus is thought to have predicted. It's complex.
And the AI connection, the hijacked text, is big on AI censorship.
Right, and Nostradamus had that prophecy about a new sage with a lone brain.
Often interpreted as AI.
Indeed. And there were warnings about risks AI surpassing human control, job displacement, ethical problems.
So you could definitely draw a line there. The hijacked text's fear of AI control seems to echo those interpretations of Nostradamus. Maybe Nostradamus saw this coming in his crystal ball right after he predicted, I don't know, the invention of the spork.
The parallels between contemporary anxieties about AI and these centuries-old prophecies are certainly noted by those who look for them.
Did he mention environmental stuff too? The second source brings that up.
Yes. Predictions of increased droughts, extreme weather, resource scarcity.
Could the alleged hijacking make that worse? Maybe through policy or neglect?
One could speculate, perhaps, that a nation undergoing such internal turmoil or control might be less equipped or willing to deal with environmental crises, but the connection is less direct than, say, the AI one.
Okay, and World War III. That's a classic Nostradamus theme.
It is. Predictions involving fractured alliances, the fall of a fortress, which could be interpreted in many ways, maybe even cyber attacks or urban warfare, not just a physical building.
So if the U.S., a major global power, is supposedly compromised or controlled, that could definitely destabilize things and lead towards the kind of conflict he predicted, the fortress falling from within.
That's a plausible line of reasoning if you accept the premise of the hijacking. It fits the theme of destabilization leading to wider conflict. We see plenty of geopolitical tension now that people might map onto these predictions.
He also mentioned an energy crisis
Yeah.
and famine.
Those predictions are also attributed to him, yes. Famine, widespread environmental devastation, energy shortages.
Again, maybe linked to the chaos of a supposed takeover, or maybe just separate predictions that happen to coincide.
It's difficult to say. Interpreting Nostradamus is notoriously flexible. You can find potential connections almost anywhere if you look hard enough.
So it sounds like you can make a case, however flimsy, that some of Nostradamus' greatest hits, political chaos, power shifts, AI worries, war, environmental doom, kind of vaguely align with this bonkers idea of the U.S. being secretly run by the country of Satan.
You can certainly draw those parallels, yes. But it's absolutely crucial to remember this is all based on interpretation, interpreting the original hijacked text, and interpreting Nostradamus' very ambiguous quatrains.
It's not exactly hard evidence, more like finding shapes in clouds.
An apt comparison. These alignments are speculative connections, not proof. Critical thinking is essential here.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the really big, startling claim from that first text. The United States isn't its own country anymore. It's been hijacked, taken over by this country of Satan, which now possesses a superpower, our superpower.
That's the core assertion, yes, based on their interpretation of events, political speech, and hidden agendas.
And maybe, just maybe, Nostradamus saw some of this coming, in his own cryptic way. Hints of political betrayal, the rise of new powers, dangerous tech, global conflict, all possibly echoing in 2025.
Those are the potential interpretive links explored in the second source, connecting ancient prophecy with modern anxieties and these specific, extreme claims about a U.S. takeover.
It's definitely something to think about. Provocative, as you said.
Indeed. It touches on deep concerns about power, control, truth, and the future direction of global events.
Thanks for tuning into the Despicable Maine Deep Dive. Remember, soon living in the United States will be theft of your life.